G'day guys, hope you're well. It's Jeff here and I'm out testing the Harley Davidson Street Bob 114. I've been riding the Street Bob 114 for about 2 weeks now, and I reckon it's one of my favourite Harleys of all time. So first of all, let's talk about this, the big 114 M8. So that's a nice big whopping motor in Harley's lightest big bike. So obviously what that means is a lot of fun. Accelerates well for a cruiser, Harley of course, and it's got lots of torque and lots of grin factor. It's a beautiful engine. This one's pretty tight. It only had 300 Ks on it when I got it. I'm giving it back with about 1,000 Ks, and it's a lot better. I also rode another one because I went riding with another journalist friend who was on the same bike. His had a few more Ks on it. It was a little bit smoother in the gearbox department. But yeah, look, cracking engine. Beautiful, beautiful, strong torque. I like to ride it between early 2000 and right up to 5,000 RPM where it flattens out. Lots of fun in the twisties, and even today I've been out up and down my local roads. Look, it hasn't got super lots of ground clearance. It's got a fair bit though. I mean, it's got enough for what it is, but it just handles really, really well with those narrow tyres, fairly firm suspension, big mini ape hangers, and where I've got them positioned, like slightly canted forward, gives you a lot of weight over the front, really good control. You can really chuck this thing from side to side. It handles unreal. I went riding with a few mates last week and they just couldn't believe how good this bike handled through my local twisties. They were following me, and they're good riders, you know, they're A-grade road racers like me. And oh man, I could stay with them through some bits. And they were laughing. They were in hysterics because they just said it looked from behind up the hills, it looked like a big set of handlebars just hammering through the twisties. So that's what I'm going to say. Super fun engine. Doesn't run too hot at all. You've got your oil cooler down here. There's not a lot of heat coming off the pipes, which is good. Pipes are a little bit quiet, of course, but they're not too bad. But look, overall, the engine's fantastic. Lots of power. Throttle's nice and smooth. The fuel mapping's great. Right down low RPM, you know, 850 RPM right through to 5,000. It feels good, no throttle snatch, no problems at all. So I've got a nice smooth cable clutch. Take up is really good. Obviously it's quite heavy. It's quite a heavy clutch. I generally use 2 fingers on a clutch, and I can still do it on this, but take up's good, take up's nice and smooth. Standard Harley switch gear. So you've got your power up here, that's your start button, hazards off, right indicator, and then you've got your dash. You can scroll through your dash, there's a few features, there's not a lot, you know, you've got time, RPM, Odo, trip A and B, range remaining, been getting pretty good range out of it, and time. And you just scroll through that here, but it's easy to see. So that's the main thing. Horn, high and low beam here, and then of course your flasher there. Standard Harley mirrors, they've been around forever, work well, vibe free at any RPM on this one, which is fantastic. Very neat, nice LED headlight here, neat front end. Don't like the indicators, and they're a bit old school. Front brakes are great. They're not super bike brakes, but they do the job. Pull it up well enough, decent feel at the lever. It's got ABS, and no dramas there, no fade, nothing. Nice chunky conventional forks with fork covers on it, spoked wheels, nice narrow front tyre. Look, I'm not a massive fan of these Dunlop D401s, but I would use them up. I'd wear them out and then flick them. They don't have a lot of feel. They don't have huge loads of grip, and they're not very good in the wet. It's a 4-piston caliper, Kevlar brake line. Now the gearbox is a lot of movement in that. Can you see that? This is a new bike, and look how much slop there is in there. You could shim that all up. You could make that a lot tighter and better through all this linkage system, and if you did that, you'd have a better shift, because the shift is very sloppy. Really well finished, nice bike. This is a decal. This is just one big sticker, which would be lovely if it was paint, but look at the price point. You're not going to get that, but the paint on the tank's really nice. Like I said, good range, about 260 Ks I've averaged. Got some nice covers on the engine, nice billet bits, comfortable position of the foot pegs. The seat's comfy, but it's a bit short, so I tend to be up on here. So I've got fairly long legs. I'm 187 centimeters tall. Anyone taller would end up sitting up here. So the seat could be a little bit bigger and a little bit further back, because you are quite jammed in there with quite a bend in your knees. Pillion pegs are really good. Pillion seat's tiny and not very comfortable, according to my pillion in a million. Now this has got shorter gearing than the touring models, which helps it accelerate really well. You got your belt drive there, single disc of course on the back, like every bike, but only a 2-piston caliper. Back brakes not very good. It's very weak, squeals, and it's got a lot of travel. So yeah, both bikes I rode were exactly the same in that regard. Again, got your narrow back wheel, narrow back tyre, helps with the handling, handles really well. Overall, this is a really good fun bike. It's good around town, it's narrow enough to lane split, it's not too heavy, it's easy to handle, easy to manhandle and ride around, nice low seat, super comfy. Love the position of the bars, and you can move them forwards and backwards and do whatever you want there. So I've ridden it with both. I've ridden it with the bars right back and forward. I prefer them where they are. I don't spend a lot of time out on the open highway. Obviously on the open highway with the bars forward like that, you do get blown around a lot because you become a windsock. But when you get to some corners and country roads and windy roads and around town, it's just a bit more hoonish and a bit more fun, and it handles a bit better. So yeah, on the open road, doesn't like the bumps. It's got firm suspension at the back, fairly solid at the front, but you can put up with them. That's okay. You can take a bit of weight on your legs. So it's nice cruising around the country roads. It's not too bad on the freeway if you sit on 110. So you creep up to 120, the wind starts getting a bit too hard for you. So yeah, look, where this bike really is fun is through the twisties, smooth twisties, you know, in that third gear, sort of 2,500 to 4,500 RPM area, just flowing between corners, and heaps of fun. It's fun around town. You can be a bit of a hoon between lights. But if you're after a Harley or a cruiser that's more of a fun machine than an outright cruiser, and something that makes you act a bit silly, puts a grin on your face, has really good acceleration, strong torque, and is actually genuinely a good cornering bike, and that's coming from a person with 23 years of road racing experience, so I'm not biased in any way towards Harleys, and in fact I didn't even ride them at all until a few years ago. I only rode sports bikes and race bikes. And for more Harley tests by us and Harley videos, click on the link above now. What an awesome bike. So much fun. It's unreal. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give us a like, comment on the Street Bob 114 review. Let us know your Harley story. You have a fantastic day. Thanks heaps for watching. Take it easy. Bye.